everyone, it's Gracie and I'm here with Lindsay.
Hi.
And we are coming at you. It is Wednesday. Well, we're recording this on a Tuesday, but you're going to get it on a Wednesday. And it's the day before we have our early bird sign up for Generosity. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what that program is, and also to share what we think, even if you don't sign up for the program, like what we think could be some good skills to be able to bring back some of our retreat experience into your day-to-day life. And this conversation's been coming up because every retreat that we've gone on, and those of you who've been know that it's just really powerful, and you come back, you feel really high, really amazing, really like, I don't have any more problems, I'm loved, I'm accepted. And then it's Monday, and then you go back to work, and maybe you can keep it going for like a day or two, and it can crash after that. So we wanted to talk about some of the ways that we think that you can bring that retreat experience into your life, probably not perfectly or exactly, but to start to bring some of that in there. So we'll talk about that, and we're going to reveal what our special free gift for their Generosity program is at the end of this conversation. We're saying it should take 5 minutes. I'm assuming it's probably going to take a little bit longer. So, because once we get talking, that's what we do. So Lindsay, I wanted to ask you, because you had just gone to your first Self-Care 101 retreat last month and got the full experience. And I wanted to, and also you're going to be helping us in this Generosity program, doing the motherhood work and really helping us to remother ourselves and decide if we want to become mothers and do all the work around mothering that's so essential. And what was coming home like for you, and what came up, and what have you been noticing in the current Self-Care 101 group since people have been coming home?
Well, I think this was the first time that you had the retreat in the circle, which was really cool. So we were still in our Self-Care 101 when the retreat happened. So the great thing was, on the other side of the retreat, we had the support group already in place that we could reach out. And I know one woman who reached out and said, I'm having a really hard time. I'm noticing like my partner isn't in the same energy as I am. And I noticed that too as soon as I came home. Of course, my kids were a mess. Actually, even for me, getting to the airport and feeling like, oh my God, like I'm so alone. All that stuff is behind me, and it felt really scary. And I felt almost like naked and vulnerable. But I remembered you and I had spoken about how that was always on the other side of the retreat. There's this moment where you go back out like a little bird leaping from the nest, and you get to take the retreat energy with you, but it's not as all-encompassing, and it felt scary. So knowing that was coming was really helpful, and then also being able to reach out on the other side and say, hey, what's going on for you guys? How are you supporting yourselves? And just knowing that that contraction was coming was really helpful. To be able to accept it and then reach out for support was really powerful.
So to not expect, for me, yeah, it's always that thing when I go have like a life-changing experience or something that I feel like rocks me to the core. And afterwards being like, well, that's it. All those problems are gone. And
totally. Got that. Know how to take care of myself.
Totally spiritually evolved. And then when it comes up that I'm not, because I get into traffic or someone's rude to me or my partner's not getting the enthusiasm that I have, then it is really helpful to like have people in my life that are able to understand and kind of bring me back to center. I would say you're one of those people in my life that like, am I going crazy? Or you're like, nope, that's just how the world is.
Yeah. And when we have those places in our life, when they're transitional places, as you know, that's when the gremlins, so when things get uneasy, which they do right before we grow, or when we come out of a big growth, the gremlins can come in and start to say, you know, your shitty voice can come in. That wasn't real. Oh, you think you got it all figured out. Oh, that's not the truth. But when you can reach out to your people, they can pull you back into that space where you can remember how beautiful it felt.
Yeah, so being in connection, and I think that's something that the Self-Care 101 groups have been really wonderful at, is I like through the alumni network, people keep in touch, and I know there are specific Self-Care 101 groups that have their own listserv that they start afterwards and are able to talk about it. So having people like a tribe that gets it is really important. My teacher, Diane, was just talking about this, that she's like, said it's almost impossible to change unless you are with a group of people that are like enthusiastically holding space for that change and able to hold you through the transitory moments. And because it's so hard for people in your day-to-day life who don't understand what you've been through to see you differently. And that's a really big part of change is being around people who are able to see you for like your most evolved version of who you are. And that's been a huge thing for me in these past couple of years, is finding groups that like I really feel seen for, that I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not in those groups.
Yes. Yeah. And when people get, how hard it is, what you're facing, people really understand. So you're not connecting with people that are so far removed from you. It's like, yeah, I know that was really hard to go back to the airport. It was really hard to go back to a partnership where my partner was grouchy.
Mm-hmm. Just that phrase, like, me too. Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about. Like, it's so healing. It's like, doesn't make the problem, but just knowing I'm not alone. What I'm dealing with is like, I think especially as women, that's what we need to really heal, is just be like normalizing, like, okay, we all go through this. We're all gonna like have wonderful experiences and then lows afterwards. It doesn't make us a flawed person.
Yes, it's not your fault. Mm-hmm.
Well, something else, we were talking a little bit before the call about, ways that we bring it back with us, or ways that people could bring that retreat energy back. And I thought like to think of what bodily things were really great there, because it's just such a chill place. Those who've been to Claymont, the food is great. The outside walks are so beautiful. And you can go sit by the campfire, you can go to bed early. And so maybe you can't have like a campfire in your day-to-day life, or you can't be surrounded by 30 awesome women in your day-to-day life. But what we all can do is like go for a walk outside. I find so healing, or go to bed early, or make some like a little bit of extra effort to make some delicious food and then turn off all things while you're eating it. Or so like to bring some of those bodily things where you feel really nurtured and cared for into your day-to-day life. I think that's a really good way to ease back into it as well. Yeah. And I'm moving right now, everything, looking downstairs right now, it's all in boxes. But I'm like, I'm cooking for myself every single meal. And I really think it's the thing that's like keeping me from going over the edge, stress-wise.
Yeah.
So, anything else come to mind for you of ways that people could bring the retreat back?
Oh, I was thinking you could play retreat at home. So even just for a little bit of your weekend, because I know, especially with people who have a lot going on their weekends, your to-do list can start to take over. And even if you could just play retreat for like a couple of hours, which was such the delight of being at Claymont, is like knowing that I don't have anything I have to do. So just kind of taking a break from your to-do list, even just for a couple of hours, like on a Sunday morning, like this time I'm just going to take care of myself and do what I want to do.
It's so important for the feminine energy, I think, to not have time pressure on it, or not have pressure on it. I think that's a little bit more of the masculine energy, which we all in our culture have a lot of, but I think the feminine energy really needs that openness of nowhere to go, just gonna drink this cup of coffee, light streaming. Like that's really where the feminine energy starts to flow out.
Yeah, feels good.
Feels really good. All that progesterone and estrogen. Okay, so for those of you who don't think that generosity is right for you, I hope that those tips were helpful, because that's stuff that we can all bring into our day-to-day life. For those of you who've already signed up for generosity, yay, I'm so excited. Our group is very, very special already. I'm really looking forward to working together. And for those of you who are on the fence, then perhaps this conversation is helpful, because what we're really hoping that generosity can be is a way to bring this retreat-like energy into our day-to-day lives. So we're going to bring the support network in. We're going to bring that like, oh my gosh, me too. We're going to bring that sense of like, or that encouragement of open space and open time, and a group of cheerleaders to like remind you that you need that. And all of it is really in service of us seeing how we can create from this place of being women in a whole new way through our generosity and our hearts and our goodness in that way. So our deadline to sign up is June 21st. And but if you sign up by tomorrow, June 1st, then it's you get a special gift, and it's a set of cards that Lindsay has introduced us to, and we use them at the retreat, and they're really beautiful. Ooh, they're arch. You want to talk about them?
No, I just always wanted to do an infomercial. You're doing right now.
These are Vanna. They're really wonderful oracle cards that have angels on them, and these messages that are very simple. But we went around in the closing circle at the retreat, and we we picked them. And people's messages, like honestly, it brought people to tears. Like they're so profound and so wise. So we wanted to have like we already have the Power Thought cards that we use through Self Care 101, but we want to have a common deck that we use throughout the year. So if you sign up by tomorrow, we're gonna send one of those to you in the mail. And if you sign up after that, then that's fine, and you can order your own sets. And we will still love to have you in the group. So we're here if you have any questions at all. Really would love to work with you. I'm feeling like there's so much big change and everything going on right now in myself and the world, and just to have us as like getting to the center of the circle as it's spinning and huddling in and drinking tea together is something I'm looking forward to. So please reach out and sign up, and we'll look forward to working with you. And
yeah, I get so excited every time Gracie tells me another name. So thank you to all of you who signed up. And thank you so much, Annalise, for your sweet Facebook message. I really appreciated that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you really broke it down of like, yep, this is it. We gotta make this what we want to make it. So yeah, I got inspired when I read that too. So information is in this email about how to sign up, and have a good rest of your day. And just, even in any little Kaizen move you can, just bring the retreat energy into your life, because it just makes everything so much better. All right. Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.